For this problem, we have the price per costume for an X prepackaged Halloween costumes is given by this. So we have our price function, but they want us to write a function for the revenue. In order to do this, we need to know what the equation for revenue is, and revenue, it turns out, is X times P, where X is the number of items you're selling and P is the price for those items. So if we want our function only in terms of X, then we need to get rid of P. And in order to do that, we're going to refer to the P that's given to us, and we're going to do a substitution. So we have X times P, but instead of P, we're going to be putting in -1/5 X plus 50. And then we need to distribute this X. So X times -1/5 X is -1/5 X squared. And then X times 50 is plus 50X. Okay? What we need to be clear of here then, we have this function R in terms of X. Every point on this quadratic here is X comma R, but X stands for the costumes. Okay, so this is the number of costumes sold. And then the Y value here stands for revenue. So for this next part here, it says, well, how many costumes does a manufacturer have to sell in order to maximize revenue? Well, anytime we're wanting to maximize, we're really looking at the vertex here. And since we want to know the amount of costumes that we want to sell, we're really looking for the X value of the vertex, which is H. And we know that H is -b over 2a. B is the coefficient of the X term, so this is -50 over 2 times a, and a is -1/5. So if you put that into your calculator, you're going to end up with 125. Okay. You need to make sure that you label this though. So 125, and what are we talking about? We're talking about how many costumes were sold. So we need to sell 125 costumes if we're going to maximize that revenue. So now that we know we need to sell 125 costumes, we need to figure out, well, what would the maximum revenue be if we were to actually sell that? And what that means we need to do is we're going to take our 125 and we're going to evaluate our revenue function. So we're going to find revenue if we sell 125. So this is the K value of the vertex. So we get -1/5 times 125 quantity squared plus 50 times 125. So you would plug that into your calculator, and then you're going to end up with $3,125. So you want to make sure to add that dollar symbol because revenue is money. So the last part that we have is the price that the company needs to charge in order to reach that. So the question is, what do we have to sell each costume for in order to get this $3,125 in revenue? And in order to do that, we're no longer going to look at this function because I have costumes and I get revenue. But this function is costumes and then I get price. So what we're wanting to do is put it into the price function. So I have price is -1/5 times X plus 50. And then specifically we're going to use 125 because if I sell 125 costumes, I'm going to get a maximum revenue. So 1/5 of 125 plus 50 is going to give us $25.